The Asus Flip S is the company's new flagship convertible touchscreen laptop. It's thin, light and built from premium materials, just as you'd expect of a more conventional high-end laptop. But unlike those machines, here the screen also responds to touch and flips round, so you can use it as a tablet or put it in various other useful positions. It also comes with a stylus for accurate drawing and note-taking, and inside is a 512GB SSD and an Intel Core i7 processor. All told, it has plenty of potential to be the ultimate 2-in-1 device, so let's see if it delivers. First things first, Asus has absolutely nailed the design. On paper, the choice of gold and navy blue is a slightly odd one, but it actually works rather well. It's something a little different without feeling garish, or like it's trying to be oddball just for the sake of it. There is also supposed to be a more conventional dark grey version, though I've not seen it for sale anywhere. Overall build quality is also fantastic. The outside is all aluminium and it's finished in a wonderfully smooth texture. Sometimes aluminium laptops can feel a bit rough or have sharp edges, but there's none of that here. Moreover, the metal isn't just for looks. There's a rigidity to the whole thing that many cheaper aluminium laptops can't match. This is all the more impressive considering how thin and light this laptop is. It's just 10.9mm thick and weighs just 1.1 kilograms. For a convertible 13-inch laptop with a glass screen, that's seriously impressive. The all-important hinge is excellent too, with the screen staying securely in place at any angle. It's also not too top-heavy, so the laptop doesn't tend to tip backwards like it does with some 2-in-1 devices. On the underside, it's also nice to see there's a minimum of unsightly ventilation and speaker grills, so the whole system looks and feels great from any angle. What you do get are a pair of grills for the speakers and another pair for the air intakes for the cooling system. Hot air from this system is blown out the side. The speakers themselves sound surprisingly good too, with plenty of detail, volume and an expansive soundstage. It's no surprise however that a few compromises have been made in order to make such a slim and light machine. Most obviously, connectivity is limited to just a headphone jack and 2 USB Type-C ports. One of the Type-C ports is also used to charge the device, so will often be occupied. It's a good thing then that Asus includes a dongle to expand upon this connectivity. It provides one USB-A, one USB-C and one HDMI port, which is a nice enough selection, though it's a shame Asus couldn't have also squeezed in an SD card reader. Next to the USB Type-C port on the right edge is a slim fingerprint reader. This works surprisingly well considering how small it is, the only issue being that if the laptop's on a flat surface, it can be a little awkward to get enough of your finger in contact with it. In front of this is a volume rocker switch and the power button. It's quite common to have these on the side of hybrid laptop-tablet devices, and sometimes they can be difficult to press or tell apart, but here it became a natural and effortless motion to just slide your finger along the edge and feel for the buttons. Moving on to the screen, this laptop is available with two versions. Both are IPS LCD panels, but one has a 1080p resolution and the other is 4K. This is the 1080p version, and it's very good, but not perfect. Contrast, gamma, maximum brightness and fine colour accuracy are all very good, and the IPS LCD technology means it looks great from any angle. However, it does arrive with a colour temperature that's too high. This gives the image a slightly blue cast to it. Most users won't notice, but professional image and video editors will want to calibrate this display. The other slight issue is the resolution. Ordinarily, 1080p on a 13-inch laptop is plenty. However, flip the laptop into tablet mode and you realise just why it is that even 5-inch phones have higher resolutions than this laptop. There's something about the way you hold and interact with these devices that the pixels become that much more noticeable. I've not found the 4K version available to buy anywhere yet, but if the price isn't too high, I'd be tempted to take the upgrade. As for the keyboard and trackpad though, they're both all but flawless. The keyboard is spacious so it doesn't feel cramped and the layout is logical. The key action is also excellent with a crisp, defined but lightweight click that means you always know if you've hit a key properly. The trackpad meanwhile is nice and large so it's easy to move the cursor across the whole screen in one go. Plus the tracking surface is smooth and responsive, and it's very rigid so the single button click responds evenly across the whole thing. The Flip S doesn't slip up when it comes to performance either. Its Intel Core i7 7500U processor powers through everyday workloads and is ample for even things like basic video editing. It's ably supported by 8GB of RAM and a large 512GB SSD. This isn't the fastest SSD I've ever encountered, but it's plenty for most everyday use. The Intel processor's internal graphics will also turn its hand to some basic gaming. You'll be very limited in what detail levels and resolution you can run at, but many less demanding games will be just about playable. So far, so good then, but there are a couple of key problems with the Flip S. The first is that it simply doesn't have a long enough battery life. Asus claims up to 10 hours, but in reality you're looking at around 6. That could still be enough for some people, but if you're after a device that'll last a full working day or a long haul flight, then the Flip S simply isn't good enough. In contrast, several rival conventional laptops of this size can easily last for 10 hours or more. The other issue is that despite Asus's best efforts, this still doesn't really convince as a touchscreen device. It's too big and heavy to use as a tablet in the same way that you would an iPad, and instead is only really manageable when laid flat either on a table or on your lap. The various other configurations you can use are useful, but not necessarily enough on their own that you'd want to choose this laptop over a more conventional one. Not helping, of course, is that Windows still doesn't feel like a particularly good tablet interface. It's continually getting better, and with the right apps it can get a little closer to a true tablet feel, but it's still not there yet. On the other hand, the included Asus Pen provides a nice way to accurately interact with the touchscreen. It's not a class-leading drawing device, but its 1000 levels of pressure sensitivity do go some way to providing that true-to-life feel. Overall then, there is a lot to like about the Flip S. As a laptop it's up there with the very best, with only its battery life and connectivity holding it back a little. Meanwhile, the versatility of the rotating touchscreen is a big plus, and the tablet mode can be useful too. Add in that you get the Asus Pen and a dongle included, and it starts to look like reasonable value as well. The true merits of these convertible touchscreen laptops may still be up for debate, but what isn't is that this is one of the finest you can buy.